Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope all is going good. Now, today we have a debate between Matt Goodwin and Ben Habib. They're going to be discussing the recent events of Rupert Lowe being kicked out of Reform UK. Ben Habib is no stranger to criticising Nigel Farage, hence why he left. He said that the party wasn't democratised enough. Nigel Farage had too much ownership in the party, and the vision as well. He was kind of insinuating that the vision Nigel shared was a little bit different from the vision that he shared. And well, what we're going to see in this debate is Matt Goodwin, he's in his feelings. He's in his feelings in relation to the mess that's gone on. And I will say that Nigel Farage is not above criticism. Yes, he is a breath of fresh air, let's be honest, in UK politics. Yes, he has a good relationship with America, the current president in Donald Trump. Yes, people are looking forward to seeing what Reform can do in the next election, but he's not above criticism. And as the party has been shaken up, which has led to Ben Habib leaving and now Rupert Lowe, it's fair to ask questions. You can't just say, hey, Nigel Farage, you're above criticism, we're not going to ask you questions. We need to know these things. And that's what Ben Habib is bringing to the table. But Matt Goodwin seems to be in his feelings in relation to this.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us this evening. Now, as I've just said, Reform averaging 26% of the national vote, 220,000 members, 100,000 more than the Tories, on course to win a parliamentary by-election. You've written today in the Telegraph that Nigel Farage is incapable of building the sort of breadth and depth of high-caliber people required to form a transformational government. So if this is failure, then what does success look like to you?
So you have to distinguish, Matt, between polling well and being popular and actually being able to deliver for the country. And they're two completely different things. Nigel Farage is a fantastic campaigner. He's fantastic at banging the drum, a bit like Boris Johnson. And you might recall Boris Johnson got an 80-seat majority. He did fantastically well in that general election, and then he absolutely let the country down. He did not deliver Brexit as he promised he would, locked us up. The economy emerged in deep, deep damage. And Nigel Farage, I'm afraid, is of the same cloth. So he's a fantastic campaigner. Is doing terrifically well in the polls, but that isn't the key issue for me. The key issue for me, and frankly anyone else in this country who cares about this country, is whether or not Reform is capable of delivering the country away from the precipice on which we now stand. And we stand on the precipice of constitutional, economic, cultural disaster. And Nigel Farage, well, you asked me a question, Matt, so let me, if I may just finish. And Nigel Farage, on all those key issues, at least the way Reform is structured at the moment, will not be able to deliver for the country. So it's academic for me.
You don't know that. Let me just put something to you, if I may.
Matt, I absolutely know that. And what you must not do, Matt, is conflate popularity with effectiveness.
So
they're not the same thing.
A question I have, lots of people online saying that Reform is not radical enough, it's too soft, it's moved to the centre. This is a party that is campaigning in its manifesto to leave the European Convention on Human Rights, for an immediate freeze on all future immigration, for an end to health tourism, for an end to migrants having immediate access to the welfare state. I mean, if this is not radical, if this is not a challenge to the political establishment in this country, then where do you want to go?
So, just to be clear, for me, it is about having the right structures in the party so that you can attract the high caliber of people that you will need in order to make the policies that are required to save the country, be able to draft the legislation. Let me finish, Matt. It's very important. Draft the legislation to allow any incoming pro-British government to deliver the policies that they wish to deliver, hit the road running a bit like Donald Trump did when he came into office, and for the country, therefore, to be saved. Now, the problem with Nigel Farage and Reform is that Nigel Farage is Reform and Reform is Nigel Farage. And there is no structure. They say they've democratized the party. They say that they've got checks and balances in place. They haven't. I've looked at the detail. We can go through it if you want to, but they haven't done it. And what's happened to Rupert Lowe was an accident waiting to happen. Anyone with an independent form of thinking, anyone who's going to criticize or question the direction of travel which Nigel Farage wished to go in was going to be set aside, and that means
so let's
that you
talk
will not
a bit
get
about that in detail.
That means you will not get the great minds, the fearless thinkers coming to join reform, the kinds of people that we need in reform to save this country.
If I may,
that's my issue.
You were deputy leader of reform. I understand that when you were deputy leader, the party had around 60,000 members. I know you've been quite critical of Zia Youssef, the chairman of the party currently. Under Zia Youssef, the party now has 220,000 members. So he's doing something right, isn't he?
So let's just get something straight. The grassroots of reform are in turmoil. If you want to win elections, let's just get down to brass tacks, because that's where you want to go. If you want to win elections, you have to have grassroots. In the last 6 months, Zia Youssef has set aside dozens and dozens and dozens of former grassroots members of reform, people with whom I have campaigned shoulder to shoulder in various elections where
I've got 400 branches now, haven't they?
Or other people have been. You're not following the detail. Listen to what I have to say.
Well, I've been speaking at reform branches over the last 3 months, so I'm pretty familiar with what's going on in the grassroots. This is a party that was only 2 years old and is averaging 26% of the vote then.
So you keep going back to the polls, you keep confusing and conflating popularity with the ability to deliver for the country.
I'm just trying to figure out what it is that you want, Ben, apart from a change of structure, because you said today that you want a new party headed by Rupert Lowe.
I want a change of structure. I want a party which is capable of tolerating other people beyond Nigel. Nigel, frankly, is such a big character, such a big campaigner, that the party desperately needs checks and balances in place on the leadership, so that other people who...
Nigel's also the only non-establishment politician in this country who's won 2 nationwide elections with 2 different parties. I'm just being real with you. I look at his critics and they've not won anything, and this is a guy who's won 2 national elections.
Guys, I'm gonna carry on playing, this segment, but I will say that Matt Goodwin is in his emotions here. Let Ben Habib get what he needs to get out. Stop cutting him off. He doesn't even want to listen to what Ben Habib has to say. He's already ready to bring up some more statistics in favor of Nigel Farage. He's not willing to listen to what Ben Habib has to say. It's fine. We know you like Nigel Farage and you're rocking with him. That's absolutely fine. The conservative space is happy Nigel Farage is making gains, 110%. But still listen to what people like Ben Habib have to say. Still listen to what Rupert Lowe have to say about Nigel Farage. Take criticism in the party. Don't let the party just be about Nigel Farage and whoever he likes stays, whoever he doesn't like goes, and Zia Youssef. Take some criticism. That's the only way that reform is going to grow, if they can take criticism and they can carry on molding the party to a party that is suitable for everyone and not just a select few in the party. So yeah.
Matt, it's not a matter of just winning an election. You've got to be able to deliver for the country when you win the election. And reform is not capable of doing that the way it is structured.
You change countries by winning elections. You change policies by winning elections. That's right. That's how you do it.
You keep interrupting. There's no point winning an election if the policies you have are pointless and the individuals that you've got are substandard and incapable of delivering it.
Leaving the ECHR is not a pointless policy, Ben.
Do you know what the last pronunciation of Nigel Farage on the ECHR was? Do you know what it was, Matt? It wasn't to leave the ECHR. It was to have a referendum on the ECHR. That is where Nigel's mind is on the ECHR. Nigel wants a referendum. The last thing we need is a referendum on the ECHR.
This debate is going to continue, Ben. This debate is going to continue. I'm sorry, we've run out of time. That's State of the Nation.
Very poor from Matt Goodwin, super emotional. That is a tactic that the left adopts. When they're emotional, they cut you off, they don't want to hear what you have to say. That is not what centre-right politics is about. That's not what conservative politics is about. Everyone should come and give their opinion and not just administer cancel culture, which Matt Goodwin was administering in this interview. Wasn't good. Ben Habib is a respectable guy in UK politics and he should have his say. Whether you like it or not, he should have his say. And you can object to a few things he has to say, because he had a massive sheet of paper, Matt Goodwin, that he just wanted to hammer through to Ben Habib. But let him say what he needs to say. He doesn't need you cutting him off and just impeding his trail of thought whilst he's getting points out. You should have allowed him to say everything he needs to say. Let the public decide. The public are going to be the ones voting. Let them decide. Don't just cut him off and say, no. Nigel Farage done this, he done that. It doesn't work, man, honestly. And honestly speaking, out of that 200,000 that Matt Goodwin was talking about, a lot have left. A lot have said, you know what, no Rupert Lowe, I'm gone. No Rupert Lowe, I'm gone. Until he comes back into the party, I'm not rocking with Reform UK. You need to take criticism on board and see what the majority of people want. Or else, if you get too confident and too arrogant, come next election, Nigel Farage can lose the next election. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you at the next video. Peace.